I am not returning my national award. There is nobody to whom I can return it. I am only relinquishing my claim on it. I believe I have lost the right to hold such an award. When my fellow citizens do not have the right to food of their choice, when artists of the next generation are denied their right to a decent education, when rational thinking is declared a life-threatening activity, when parochialism and coercion become an alibi for upholding cultural traditions, I believe I too have lost the right to an award of excellence.
We have to go back to the time when India became a constitutional republic. It was a time when our leaders defined the nation to the people of India and to the world. We were sovereign, and we were secular, and we were democratic. Left behind in the shadows were forces, though small in number, yet potent in influence, that were vehemently opposed to this ideal. They had a different agenda and a far simpler notion of what our country was all about. They had little faith in democracy and far less in freedom of expression, religion, and equality before the law.
After much thought and with deep regret, I have decided to return my national award for the film Legend of Fat Mama in solidarity with my fellow filmmakers, film students of the FTII, and with concerned citizens of my country. It is a simple, unmanufactured protest against the current climate of intolerance, hate, and violence, and the curbing of the voices of dissent.
I'm giving up my national award in protest against the unmistakable interference of the present government in appointments to institutions of academia and culture. I'm also protesting the general atmosphere in the country where the Prime Minister doesn't care enough to categorically and unequivocally condemn incidents of intolerance and take clear and swift actions against members of his government and party who seek to belittle or justify such incidents.
Yeah, and I feel really sad today that FTI has to go through this, and the students, when I hear things like students are Naxals and they're anti-national, I take it really personally, and I feel that I should not be holding on to an award which the government gives me. The same government is saying such things. So that's my point.
आप देखेंगे जिस प्रकार से पब्लिक ईथोस पे अटैक है हर एक संस्था पे जो पब्लिक इंस्टीट्यूशन है, whether you see what's happening on public health, whether you see what's happening on public education, whether you see the attacks on NGOs, अभी FCRA की भी एप्लीकेशन के लिए किस प्रकार की इंफॉर्मेशन मांगी जा रही है कि आप अपना फेसबुक अकाउंट, अपना ट्विटर अकाउंट, हर प्रकार का सोशल मीडिया का प्लेटफॉर्म की जानकारी दीजिए, किस प्रकार की प्रोफाइलिंग को इनकरेज किया जा रहा है. अब दिस इज जस्ट द बिगिनिंग. अगर इस प्रकार के पब्लिक ईथोस को जाने दें और उसको मानते हुए चुप रहें तो आप इमेजिन कर सकते हैं कि आगे आने वाले टाइम में क्या होने वाला है. So whether it's the institute, whether it's, look at the attack on the public intellectuals, what's happening to historians like Irfan Habib and Ramnath Thapar. Is this the kind of India that we are really agreeing to live in? This is why we are wanting to return our awards.
Looks like, to me, it looks like a party affiliation is the only certificate to have a chairman for an institution of a premier institution like FTI. And if that's the case, what would be the fate of the rest of the educational institutions in this country?
Many nationally and internationally have joined in this protest, including Noam Chomsky. Is Gajendra Chauhan the right choice? This appointment is an insult to our intelligence, and standing by this choice is kind of a slap on the thinking populace of this country. I want to ask the bureaucrats at the Broadcasting Ministry, the Minister of State Mr. Rathore and Minister Mr. Arun Jaitley, what face can they show to their family, to their children when they make and stand by such an appointment to a very prestigious institute?
First question, why are you returning the award?
I'm returning the award because I believe there's an onslaught on the Constitution of India and I oppose it. And I stand by the Constitution of my country, which says freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of religion, and equality of all before the law of this land. If it's not happening, I will object.
Three instances in the past 1 year that have made you reach a breaking point where you said, this is the statement I need to make for the government to realize that we are on a wrong path.
A statement made by a lady in parliament, and she uses phrase of Ramzadeh and Haramzadeh. I mean, she's a member of parliament of a political party, and she's gently rapped on her knuckles. Set me thinking, ये क्या हो रहा है? Then the FTII strike itself of the students, what were they fighting for? They're idealists. They're talking about freedom of expression, and they were talking about freedom of choice. They were talking about giving an institute the dignity it deserves. And look what happened. Finally, our murder of a small man, a very small man, who was beaten to death, lynched to death, because it was rumored that he had eaten beef. It was rumored that he had eaten beef, and he was lynched and murdered. The government's response to this, there were two responses of the government of India. Terrible thing that happened, but it was a mistake. So what was the mistake? That he hadn't eaten beef, and had he had beef, he could be murdered? I want to know. So what was the mistake? That यार उसने बीफ नहीं खाया था तो मर्द शायद होगा बेचारा मर गया. That's the government. It is a mistake. So it wouldn't have been a mistake had he eaten beef. You kill a man for eating beef. It's valid.
Why are we getting these statements out in the public? Why are these instances happening?
Because you have, I think I do not subscribe to the idea of fringe elements. I think it's not fringe elements, they're mainstream. It's a mainstream thought. You're only voicing what others believe in the party. And they're gently admonished, but please go ahead. Stoke the fires, they're gently admonished, and that is wrong.